All right, kids. So today we're going to start talking about something that I know that you all are very interested in, which is money. Today we're going to be talking about coins. Now, when we're talking about money, we can either have coins or we can have dollars. So when we're talking about coins, our coins are worth cents. Cents are very small. Normally, you're not going to be able to buy anything in any store for less than 99 cents. But if you were maybe to go to a restaurant and they had a gumball machine, you might be able to get a piece of bubble gum for 25 cents. Now we're going to talk about 4 different kinds of coins that you would find that we normally see. Up on our poster over here on the side, you are going to see the 4 types of coins we're going to learn about today. The first one is a penny. A penny is the only coin that is a copper brown color, and a penny is worth 1 cent. When we're talking about dollars, a dollar, like $1 bill, is worth 100 cents. It would take 100 pennies to have $1. The part of our poem over here on the side that talks about a penny says, "Penny, penny, easily spent, copper brown and worth 1 cent." How many cents is a penny worth? Good, just 1. The next type of coin that we have is a nickel. A nickel is silver and it's much fatter than a penny. If we hold them up side by side, you can see that a nickel is quite a bit it's quite a bit thicker than the penny. The part of our poem, and a nickel is worth 5 cents. It would take 5 pennies to make 1 nickel, which we're going to look at in just a little bit. So we would have 1 nickel that's worth 5 cents. And the part of our poem says, "Nickel, nickel, thick and fat, you're worth 5. I know that." How much is a nickel worth? 5 cents. Very good. The next one is a dime. A dime is the smallest of all of our coins. It's also silver, just like a nickel. But if we held it up next to our nickel or next to our penny, the dime is the smallest of all the coins, but it is worth 10 cents. The part of our poem that talks about dimes says, "Dime, dime, little and thin, I remember you're worth 10. Tell someone near you how much a dime is worth." If you said 10 cents, you're exactly correct. The next coin, and the last one we're going to talk about today, is a quarter. A quarter is the biggest coin that we have, and it is worth the most cents. So a quarter is worth 25 cents. The part of our poem that talks about a quarter says, "Quarter, quarter, big and bold, you're worth 25, I am told." I want to say that poem all together to go over the 4 types of coins that we're learning about today. If you can read the words on the screen, you can say the poem with me, or you can just listen. That's your choice. Here we go. Penny, penny, easily spent, copper brown and worth 1 cent. Nickel, nickel, thick and fat, you're worth 5. I know that. Dime, dime, little and thin, I remember you're worth 10. Can't see, I'll pin my fingers in there. Quarter, quarter, big and bold, you're worth 25, I am told. Now we're going to jump over here to this website that has some coins on it, and we're going to look at some different types of coins and how much those coins are worth. I'm going to start with a nickel that we know is worth 5. Now, if I'm thinking, how many pennies do you think it would take to make just 1 nickel? So you could either go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know that it's worth 5. Or we can drag our little pennies and we can say 1, 2, 3. Oh, he didn't stay. 4, 5. It took us 5 pennies to make the same amount as 1 nickel. Now, let's look at a dime. We know that a dime is worth 10 cents. So how many pennies, if a penny is worth 1 cent, how many pennies do you think it's going to take to equal 1 dime? Let's see. I'm going to count until I get to the same amount. Now, you might be thinking, Miss Bowers, this looks a lot like the green 1s and 10s that we have at school. And if you're thinking that, you're exactly right. A dime is worth 10, just like our 10 rods for our tens place. And our pennies are worth 1, just like the 1s. Now, let's count and see if it takes 10 pennies to get to 1 dime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It took 10 pennies to get to the same as 1 dime because a dime is worth 10 cents. Now we're going to look and see how many pennies it's going to take to get to 1 quarter. Does anybody remember how much a quarter is worth? 25 cents. Very good. Now, you're going to have to count with me. This might take a minute because there's a lot of pennies to make 1 quarter. 1, and I'm actually going to put these on top so you can see how they lay right on top. 2, 3, 4, 5. Before we keep going, I have a question, and I want you to think and predict what you think might happen. We know that pennies are worth 1 cent and quarters are worth 25 cents. How many pennies do you think it's going to take to make 1 quarter? If you said 25, let's see if you're correct. We already have 5, so let's keep going. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That one didn't want to go in, did it? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. How many more do we need? If we're at 20, we need how many more? 5, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There we go. It would take 25 pennies to equal 1 quarter, 25 cents. Before we go, we're going to go over that poem one more time, just to review how much our coins are worth. So let's read that poem together one more time. Penny, penny, easily spent, copper brown and worth 1 cent. Nickel, nickel, thick and fat, you're worth 5. I know that. Dime, dime, little and thin, I remember you're worth 10. Quarter, quarter, big and bold, you're worth 25, I'm told. Before you go and you turn off this video, there's 2 things that I would like for you to do. Think of 5 things that you could use coins to buy. Tell someone in your house 5 things that you could use coins to buy. You might need to pause the video to have time to do this. Now, the last thing that I want you to do is to do a coin rub. A coin rub is kind of like a leaf rub, if you've ever done one of those before, where you put your coins under your paper and you trace on top with a crayon or a pencil so that you can see the design. In just a second, I'm going to switch over to a different video to show you how to do a coin rub. All right, guys, so we're back here and I'm going to show you how to do a coin rub today. The supplies you're going to need is a piece of white paper, a quarter, a nickel, a dime, and a penny. And you can either use colored pencils or crayons or even a regular colored pencil, but I just grabbed 4 crayons. It also might help to have a little bit of tape, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to tape, this sounds kind of funny, you're going to tape your coins to the back of your paper. Now, you don't have to tape them to the back, but it helps your coins from keeps them from flying away when you're trying to rub the designs. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and tape all of my coins on the back. I've got my quarter, I've got my nickel. Next I'm going to do my dime. And then I'm going to do my penny. Okay. All right, so now I've got all 4 of my coins on here. Now I'm going to flip my paper over, and you can kind of see where my coins are behind there. And I'm going to grab a crayon, and I'm going to do each coin a different color. Okay, there's my quarter. You can kind of see the design in there. Next, I'm going to do, what did I do next? My nickel, I think. We'll be able to tell by the design, won't we? Oh, that one's upside down. Yep, there's our nickel. Okay, then I'm going to do my dime. Remember, our dime is the smallest. And my penny down at the bottom. That one's upside down too, but there's Abraham Lincoln on our penny. The last thing you're going to do is you're actually going to very carefully peel your tape off, and you're going to flip your coin over, because you're going to rub the other side too, because we can't have a coin without having both sides. So you want to know what both sides of your coin look like. You may have to use some different tape if you need to. Or you could even use 2 different coins, 2 different dimes. But I find it easy just to peel it right up and stick it somewhere else on your paper. So you make sure you flip your coin over so you can get both sides of the design, okay? That's very important. All right, so now I've got my coins down. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna use my same color so that I know the coins are the same. There's George Washington on our quarter. Okay, there's our quarter. Let's go down to the other side of our nickel. It's Thomas Jefferson on our nickel. He's upside down again. And there's our dime. And very, very last, our little penny. That is how you do a coin rub, and that's what you're going to get to do for math today. Nothing super hard, but just a fun activity so that you can, to help you remember what our coins look like.